Okay. Welcome everyone, and welcome to Dr. Linda's show. In this episode, we're going to be talking about how to invent a product and turn it into a global brand. And with me here today is the founder and CEO of Pals and Dogs. So please introduce yourself so that our listeners will get to know more about you.
Sure. Hi, I'm Smriti, the founder and owner of Paws and Dogs. We are a Canadian woman owned pet brand that is based out of Acton, Ontario, and we make snuffle mats for dogs. So these are puzzle mats that have got loops and crevices where you can put in dry food or treats, and the dogs can use their nose and intelligence to sniff out the food. And when they are doing so, they are developing problem solving capabilities and cognitive abilities. The way humans do crosswords and puzzles to keep your brains active, it's the same concept for dogs.
Hmm. That's very interesting. Okay, so we are going to dive all in and learn more about what you do. But before then, let me just talk about how let me say the outline of this show is going to go. So first, we are going to do our best to understand your brand because I'm sure anybody listening will be like, okay, so can I get to know more about what you do? And then we're going to look at the lessons you've learned through your experience, from the concept to creating that product to taking it to consumers or taking it to market, as they will say. We love to learn from your experience. And we're also going to take question and answer at the end. So for everybody that is watching us live, if you have a question, stick to the end because we'll give you the opportunity to ask those questions. Okay. And then we'll take your advice that you have for women and for aspiring entrepreneurs as well. All right. So
Yeah.
let's get started. So the snuffle mat, the Pals and Dogs major product right now. How is it used? Like, because somebody that is watching this and maybe let's even say they don't have a dog yet. How
Okay.
do they understand what you are talking about?
Sure. So these snuffle mats form a part of olfactory canine enrichment. Now, when we talk about enrichment, what does it mean? Enrichment are those activities that the dogs used to do in the wild millions of years ago,
Mm,
like hunting, foraging, scavenging, competing for food. But with evolution happening millions of years down the line, and with domestication, they are not doing these activities anymore.
mm,
But the core concept is that the DNA of a dog is meant to do all these activities. So we are trying to mimic these activities in a domesticated environment under the umbrella concept of enrichment. We
mm,
are specialists, as in paws and dogs, are specialists in snuffle mats, which is catering to olfactory canine enrichment, which is something to do with the nose. So there are different types of enrichment available, like physical enrichment. You can talk about agility games. Then we can talk about environmental enrichment, like taking a walk in the woods where the dog is sniffing the flowers, the grass, the trees, the pee and the poop of other animals. So that is environmental enrichment for them.
mm,
Then there is gustatory enrichment, which is associated with licking. So when we give them a lick mat smeared with, say, peanut butter or yogurt or pumpkin puree, that is something to do with their tongue. So all
mm,
these activities mimic what they used to do in the wild millions of years ago. And
mm,
we are trying to do that in a domesticated environment
mhm,
now. And snuffle mats are puzzle mats where I mentioned that there are loops and crevices where the dog is basically going to work for their food. Because when today we are giving food in a bowl to a dog, they are actually not working for it. But
mm,
when you put it in a puzzle mat like a snuffle mat, they are actually using their brains to find out where the food is placed in the mat. Like
mm,
they can sniff it, then they can say, oh, okay, it's under the loop. Oh, okay, it's inside, hidden inside this puzzle. So I need to put my nose over there. I need to go over there in order to access my food. So technically, they are working for that food. So that is where our snuffle mats come in the entire scheme of enrichment.
Mm. Thank you very much, because the way you've explained it now, I can clearly see how, the dog trying to look for the food as if it's a puzzle can cause
Mm.
mental stimulation for the dog. Wow,
Yes.
that's good. Okay, I have a video here of what your brand does. And for me, it's very important because sometimes somebody is hearing of something, but when you see it, then it kind of add more understanding, makes you to understand what is being talked about better. So we're going to show what that video looks like right now. A moment. Wow. Wow. So I see that your brand has won lots of awards. When I checked your website, could you tell us more? Or should I say the top awards that you've won so far?
Sure. So we have won multiple awards, and the most recent being the Corporate Business Awards 2025 in Canada, which
Mm.
recognizes our brand and myself as the top canine enrichment brand in Canada. And we have won a few awards in Pet Independent Innovation Awards, which have recognized our delicious avocado and forbidden grape snuffle mats for their awards as a training aid and best stress relief award for the year. So yeah, those are ones that are pretty significant, I would say. But the hustling still goes on, and we hope to be featured in many more awards in the years to come.
Sure, sure. The product is really innovative. I love the idea.
Thank you.
One thing that I saw also was that this reduces the pace at which the dog feed, right? And the question I have for you is, what's the essence of slow feeding for dogs?
Okay. So, yes, one of the benefits that snuffle mats offer is slow feeding or reducing their speed of eating.
Hmm.
The thing is that when dogs eat too fast, it could lead to choking. Food can get stuck in their throats. It could lead to bloating because they would be inhaling and gulping a lot of air. And these could land up in medical situations. So, eat just like humans, how we are advised to eat slow, chew our food, and then eat rather than swallowing and gulping food all at
Hmm.
once. It's the same concept. So, when food is scattered all over the snuffle mat, it automatically reduces the speed in which the dog is trying to eat. Vis a vis, let's visualize a bowl where there is a lot of dry food and the dog is just trying to swallow everything, as opposed to the concept where snuffle mats, where the same amount of food has been distributed across the area of the snuffle mat, and the dog is trying to get one piece of the food at a time, which definitely slows down their eating. From a health perspective, slow feeding avoids a lot of medical problems like bloating, choking, vomiting, because if they eat too fast, they gulp a lot of air and they might end up vomiting again. So, those are the aspects that we are trying to avoid when we use a snuffle mat.
That's awesome. Okay,
Thank
so let me ask a question I feel maybe on somebody watching us right now on their mind, which is that I'm sure there are other snuffle mat out there,
you.
right? So what is that thing that makes the snuffle mat made by Pals and Dogs, or Pals and Dogs snuffle mat? What is it that makes it unique?
Got it. There are a lot of snuffle mats available in the market, but when we analyzed those snuffle mats, they had a lot of gaps. Gaps in terms of quality, the design, the challenge that it really offers to the dog, weight of the snuffle mat, and what kind of material was even used in the snuffle mats. Now, learning from what the existing offerings were, we tried to put in those things in order to make a product which was not only functional, it was full of utility, but also beautiful. So
Mhm.
when we design a snuffle mat, we take into a lot of aspects like canine cognition and vision, like dogs see in colors of blues and yellows. So we try to incorporate colors into our snuffle mats, which are
Mm.
probably blue, yellow, and also similar wavelengths of colors like purple, like orange, like red and pink, because it's made for dogs and they need to be able to see it to enjoy it to the fullest.
Mm.
When we design the puzzles in the snuffle mats, we ensure, okay, is this going to be very challenging for the dog or is it going to be very easy for the dog?
Mm.
Whether the dog's snout is going to fit into the puzzle or not. So many multiple factors we take into account, the physics, the chemistry, the biology, and the engineering aspects into building each and every snuffle mats. Like even to the extent of where the hang loop should be present on a snuffle mat is determined by engineering, where the center of gravity is passing through the product.
Mm.
It looks beautiful when it is put in a retail setup, or it looks beautiful when you hang it in your home, when you are storing it.
Mm.
Those are the fine little concepts that we work about. And we have got four different challenge levels, challenge levels 1 through 4, one being the easiest and four being the most challenging, because
Okay.
the idea is not to frustrate our dogs because we are making them work for their food. The idea is to enjoy. So different dogs are have different abilities in terms of skills, in terms of intelligence and smartness. So we have something which is offered for different kinds of dogs. Our snuffle mats are not one size fits all. They are based on age, breed, temperament, and circumstances. So when somebody reaches out to us to understand what kind of snuffle mat would be the best fit, so we do a quick need analysis to understand what's the activity level, how old are they, what kind of breed. Then we get to understand what kind of snouts they have, and whether they have done puzzles before or not. And that's how we recommend the right snuffle mat so that we are able to set them up for success. So these are key differentiators. And of course, quality, the type of material we use, they are thicker, they are durable, and the snuffle mats, the materials that we use in our snuffle mats are all third party tested by a lab, and these are all azodise free, carcinogens free, BPA free, phthalate free, formaldehyde free, because we want our dogs to be safe when they use our snuffle mats.
Wow. You, like, it's very clear that you, you you have added a lot of innovative ideas into creating this. Of course, the end result is that when somebody sees it, it's beautiful, they like it, they want to buy it. And I will commend you. For example, going through your website, which is palsanddogs.ca, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, going through your website, I saw that you added this thing, more like a checklist that someone can take a look at, and then it helps you to determine the challenge level you should buy, or like what kind of challenge level you should buy. When I saw that, I was like, wow, this is really awesome. It's like there are websites and there are websites. So your own website, like, it included a lot of things that makes it easier for somebody to just know what they should buy, and to even understand how to use this thing. And it's so beautiful. Like, congratulations to you and your team. No wonder
Thank
you're winning lots of awards.
thank you, thank you.
All right. Okay, so let's transition. I'm sure anybody watching this now will have gotten an idea of what your brand does, and who is it that is talking to us today. So I just want us to transition into, uh, you know let me say, the more of the behind the scene and the experiences you've had building this brand and what we can learn from it. All right.
Oh,
Good. So the first one, let's look at the concept. How did you
mhm.
come about this idea? What inspired it?
Okay. Well, the inspiration for this business came from our first dog, who was Princess, our golden retriever daughter. And my husband and I come from corporate backgrounds. I was an HR professional in my previous life, and I have worked with leaders in corporations. But when we came to Canada in 2018, we started the business 1.5 years later. It was pretty new for us when we were trying to get hold of everything in Canada itself. But the idea of having a business was already simmering by the beginning of 2019, but we did not know what to do as a business. We wanted to do something which was close to us, and pets or dogs was the most natural inclination, because if apart from our educational backgrounds and work experience we knew something else about, that was dogs. And we give credit to Princess, who taught us everything about dogs. And Paws and Dogs was conceived in 2019 October, just before the pandemic happened real bad. And when we started as a generic pet boutique. We used to sell solution oriented products in our boutique. But then we understood, when we were analyzing trends in the market, what is going to come in the future, where are we looking at, and how we wish to differentiate ourselves. We saw that canine enrichment as a concept was going to catch up in the future. We saw opportunity in that. And I think it also resonated with the fact that I come from a very strong background in academics. And as humans, also, we are also traveling back in time. We are going to holistic medicine. We are all looking for organic food nowadays. We are doing research on our food, how to keep ourselves healthy. We are even talking about mental health in humans. So all those concepts that what humans are going through right now is also being applied to dogs. If you see, you will see a very close parallel between a lot of concepts. And that's how we started getting into the niche of enrichment. And like I had mentioned before, enrichment is a vast concept, and we are only taking a part of it and specializing in it. And that's how we decided, okay, now we will specialize in this category, and we will advocate for enrichment, because mental health in pets is equally important. We are already doing our best as pet parents, like feeding the best food, the best supplement. We do everything for their physical health. But as in humans, we are bringing back the focus into mental health. It's the
Mhm.
same concept that we are trying to bring back the focus on mental stimulation slash mental enrichment, and focusing on that category. So that's how inspired us. And now we are leaders in this category of snuffle mats. We make really high quality ones, and our kind customers have been able to appreciate the hard work that we have put in, and they are
Mm.
able to see what kind of difference we are offering as
Mm.
a.
Yeah, I see that. Okay, listening to you, what comes to my mind is, um, was it from research, like researching, okay, what is it that is missing in this brand or in this category, or was it maybe something that happened with your dog and then you noticed that, oh, if this was available, my dog will enjoy it. Like, I'm trying to pinpoint what, like the real source of the inspiration for the product.
Got it. So I think I would say a mix of both.
Okay.
So Princess was a really smart dog. She, like golden retrievers in general, are very smart, and she was extremely smart. She picked up languages. She was able to understand three languages: English, Hindi, and to some extent whatever we spoke in our local language. She was able to understand all of that. And obviously, she was pretty smart at going out, smelling, and being happy, and figuring out puzzles, and playing treat games, and all of that. And of course, when we decided to move into a category from a business point of view, research is always important, because we wanted to see what kind of potential it holds in the
Mhm.
future, and what kind of advocacy, what kind of education, what kind of awareness will be required. Social media played a very important role to understand where exactly dog parents are when it comes to enrichment, right?
Mm.
And then we understood, yes, there are brands in the market who are beginning to talk about enrichment, but it has to happen on a very wide scale, because it was, I would say, enrichment is a very nascent concept, and it
Mm.
has only started gaining traction in the last few years. So people now are learning, we are learning ourselves. Like, I would not say we know everything. We are learning every single day. We are learning from our customers, we are learning from dogs, we are learning from other brands, we are learning from research that is coming out by scientists. Scientists are now studying the dog brain to understand why they behave and how they behave, right? So it's all put together, and the learning curve just continues. I would not be able to pinpoint what exactly was the source. I think it was all put together, which came in as a very forceful reason to go ahead into this category.
Mm. Okay, thank you very much. Uh, okay, let's look at the creation. You say?
Sorry, I hope it did answer your question.
Yes, it did answer my question because what I got from what you said is that there was that experience part, but then there was the research part, and some of the things you looked out for is more like, okay, what is happening now, but what is also going to happen in the future. Then
Yeah.
you also looked at things um more like things beyond the product. Look at, okay, advocacy, like this product, if we create it, are there things, are, does it have a wider appeal, or will I say um a why behind it, right? To have a why that this product needs to be created. So yeah, I understood what you explained.
Thank you.
Okay, so looking at so it's like, okay, you've decided on this idea, you're going to make snuffle mats. Talking about the product design, for example, I noticed you have like uh the four challenge levels, right? I'm sure there are differences between these designs, right?
Mhm.
So how did you settle on the design to go for?
Okay. So the designs that we make, like you rightly pointed out, it has got four challenge levels, and the challenge levels are based on three basic factors: the size of the mat, the complexity of the design, and the number of puzzles in the mat.
Mm,
So we understood that dogs are of different breeds, and different breeds have had different purposes in the past. Like golden retrievers had a different purpose, what they used to do in the wild so many years ago. Chihuahuas, they were having a different purpose. Say huskies, they have a different purpose. Saint Bernards, they have a different purpose. And these are all of different sizes. All these
mm,
dogs are of different sizes, different colors, different skills, different backgrounds that they have come from. So why offer a one size fits all mat when there is so much variety in the dog world itself? So that actually influenced us in order to create something which is going to be like a different offering for the different kind of a dog. For
mm,
example, if we say flat nosed dogs like pugs or boxers, whose noses are flat, and they would not be able to get into the nooks and corners of snuffle mats. For them, we have got open concept designs like our Challenger Bone or the Boundless Love or Challenge Level 2, where the webbing is not very hard and dense. And
mm,
even when they assert pressure on the material, they would be able to access the treat. Whereas we have got on the other end, we have got the Radiant Butterfly, which has so many close aisles where you can put treats, it is more suited for dogs with longer snouts, say greyhounds, say Labradors, say golden retrievers, or even any other dog, huskies. So they can get into the nooks and corners because of the design of their snout, and they can enjoy that experience. But if I probably recommended that mat or say the avocado for a flatter nose dogs, I would be a little cautious about it because they may or may not enjoy the experience. So that is the reason we tried to make different kinds of snuffle mats so that we are able to cater to everybody, yet everybody is able to have an enjoyable experience with the snuffle mat.
I see. Yeah, what I hear from you is product diversity, right? To ensure that there's like when somebody's creating a product, when an entrepreneur is creating a product, to think of how, yes, the same concept, but how are you going to do a product that different people based on, or the real customers of those products can see themselves fit in. Another place that happens very often is maybe in fashion when you talk of different persons, or even like in makeup when you talk of different shades. So
Yeah,
it's important to also understand that in even normal products that somebody may easily be thinking of, let me just create one product, you can also start thinking of different sizes, different like to accommodate the diversity of people or customers that you have.
correct,
Because
correct.
I would imagine that that would also ensure that um the customer for the product is you have more people enjoying the product than if it's one size fits all. That means there are people who will buy it and it won't even really fit, and then it's going to look like, oh, your product is not good for them, right? So
Right.
product diversity could actually make more customers enjoy your product.
Yes, yes, yes. Even like, for example, small dogs, like, for example, Chihuahuas or Havanese or Shih Tzus, right? Some of our mats are smaller in size, which might be a better fit for them. And they can slowly graduate into bigger mats as they start acing the smaller ones. But we think if we give suddenly a very big mat for a very small dog, it
Mm.
might just end up overwhelming them. The idea is not that. The idea is to exercise their brain and make them enjoy the experience. So we try to do a fit analysis kind of thing to set them up for success. And that's the reason why we have different challenge levels, different sizes, different textures, different puzzles, because something that might be a fit to somebody might not be a fit to somebody else.
I understand that. That's
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
Okay, let's look at production as skill, right? Because, like for myself, thinking of okay, a product, or for an aspiring entrepreneur who is looking at creating a product, one of the
Mhm.
questions they may have in their mind is, okay, when I design this product, how do I produce it at scale, right? Especially cheaply, of course. How do I produce it at scale? So what are the, I would say, production ideas that you feel can benefit somebody that is listening to us now? Where do they get started when they are thinking of producing products at scale?
Got it. When you are thinking of producing a product, obviously volume plays a very important role, because more the volume, the lesser is the cost of each item that you are producing. But with that being said, there will be a volume where the price of the product will remain stable after you reach that volume, because there is some effort, there is some production cost that goes into manufacturing that product. The thing is, based on your product, like we do crime enrichment snuffle mats, but based on your product, it's important to identify what that sweet spot in your volume is, where you can make adequate margins plus not invest in excess inventory. So for your business, you will need to identify that sweet spot. So usually it could be whatever works for that particular product segment. But when you are talking to your manufacturing partner, you will need to identify what is that number and probably go ahead and invest. And since you are starting, or if you are starting, we would always suggest going small and then scaling up from there. Because when you start small, you are actually taking some risk, but you are not taking really a very big risk
Mm.
of storing a lot of excess inventory. And and a small amount of inventory gives you the chance to test the waters, to understand your consumers, to even adapt to new product changes, or if you want to change the design or the packaging, or how you want to want the product to go to market, right? It will help you test your go to market strategy if you have a small inventory on hand. But imagine the plight if you have a huge inventory on hand and you decide to change the design or the product variant or something like that. It is a huge risk. So, my advice, or what we followed, was we started small. And once we
Mm.
started seeing what customers were looking for, we were able to adapt really quickly, because since we had smaller product batches in the beginning, we were able to play around with the packaging, we were able to improve the designs with the feedback from our customers, we were
Mm.
able to incorporate changes really quickly. And that gave us a lot of cushion and luxury to adapt ourselves.
I see. That's good. Are there are there big companies that produce, for example, here in Canada? Because I know you're based in Canada. So here in Canada, are there big companies that produce, or should one be looking at importing, or like it's like just anything that somebody who wants to produce a product should be thinking of?
I think it totally depends on your business strategy. Um, a very important element of your business strategy should be where you wish to place yourself in the market. Whether you want to place yourself in the affordable category, or a premium category, or a luxury category.
Mm.
So that would determine your business strategy, where you wish to price your products, and who is going to be the target audience or the target segment for your product. And once you have identified your positioning, once you have identified your typical customer profile, it will automatically give you ideas about where you wish to manufacture. Now, once you have decided where you wish to manufacture, I think it's really important to even assess where you would be able to get the best quality product that you are looking for,
Mm.
or what is the quality of the product that you are looking for, and whether the place where you are planning to manufacture has those capabilities or not. So once you start answering these questions one by one, you will start seeing that plan will start falling into place. But identifying your target audience and potential of your business is the first step before deciding what you want to manufacture and how you want to manufacture, and that will determine your cost and finally your niche in the market.
Yeah, I got what you said. Okay. Um. Let me look at the next question I have for you. What is
Sure.
the common mistakes that uh, entrepreneurs make when they are looking at creating a product? What are the mistakes that are commonly made, and how can somebody avoid it?
Sure. um, we have made mistakes. Yes. If I said everything was hunky dory in the business, I would be lying big time. We have learned from our mistakes. And I think it's important to understand what kind of mistakes are affordable and what kind of mistakes are not affordable, right?
Mm.
And we have made mistakes, we have trusted people who probably who probably were not the right fit for us. Sometimes there have been cases where, like I just talked about in the previous question, we decided on a design, and probably that design was not really liked by our customers as much, right? So, but we have excess inventory on our hands, and those kind of things we have made mistakes. But yes, making mistakes are going to be part and parcel of this entrepreneur game, because everybody is trying to figure out, everybody learns every day, and as part of this journey we are going to make mistakes. I think the most important thing is how we learn from those mistakes and how we incorporate those mistakes or learnings into our future dealings in business. I think that is where it all matters, because everything else can be corrected, but mistakes that are going to be really having a big financial impact, those are the mistakes we would like to avoid. So a lot of thinking, a lot of logical reasoning needs to go into place when you are trying to take a bigger risk, I would say.
Mm. This is probably one of the reasons you said design small quantity or like a lower quantity, go to market, see how the customers are experiencing the product so that if you have to change the design,
Yeah.
you won't have a whole lot of inventory to throw away. Uh,
Yes.
I see. Yeah,
Yeah, we did
that's
have
very.
a similar instance before, so we have learned from it. And I think it's a great learning because it helps you to be agile to the market, because the market is really fast. Like, there are new competitors entering the market every day, there are new brands entering the market every day. And if the brands are not agile and adjusting to their market and they are not quick enough to do that, it would be very challenging to
Mhm.
exist and grow.
I see. Okay, let's look at go-to-market strategies. First of all, when I saw that your brand is in over 1,200 retail locations, I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like,
Thank you.
it's not 120, 1,200. So, like, how did you make this happen?
Okay, so we have been in the market for the past 5 years, and we started before the pandemic. And when the pandemic happened, there was no in person dealings that were happening. So we resorted to social media, and social media means Facebook, Instagram. And we used to message retail partners, pet retail partners, that would you like to try snuffle mats, and we are a new brand, and we used to pitch our business, trying to gain some visibility, trying to get our products into the stores. And once the market opened up, even opportunities opened up, got into partnerships with distributors, we got into partnerships with wholesale platforms and those kind of platforms. And since our product was appreciated by a lot of customers and they appreciated the quality and the hard work, the different kinds of designs and everything, we grew fast. And right now we are in 1,200 plus stores across the world, but most of our customers are in North America, in Canada and the USA. And we do have presence in Europe, in a few countries, Australia, New Zealand, Taiwan. And we are only looking up from there, and we hope customers continue to love our designs so that we can grow.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So, like for example, you mentioned US, Canada, New Zealand, Australia.
Australia, yeah, a couple.
Yeah. It's, wow. Lots of countries, of course. And so, okay, one thing I picked from what you said is that it's like, yes, you are reaching out to people, but because your people like your customers like your product, right? Then that makes it is like the distributors want to continue to do business with you. That's very important because somebody can easily be focused on how do I get myself in retail stores without understanding the role, the uniqueness and the lovability of your product will play in ensuring that you're able to get the partners that you need and that they continue to work with you over time. You know, it looks like it's not related, but it is.
Yes, I think a lot of it goes into these kind of partnerships, partnerships with distributors and retail partners who are into enrichment, who would love to carry a high quality brand. So, partners who resonate with similar values and principles, right? It goes
Mhm.
into a lot to be able to, I would say, partner up with somebody for the long haul.
Mhm.
Because we as a brand, we believe in respect, agility, quality. So we also tend to look for partners who resonate with values similar to us, so that we are able to take our partnership to the long haul and we are able to grow together, because a partnership is always a win-win situation where both of us grow hand in hand, right? So we always look for these kind of win-win partnerships.
That's good. You mentioned something respect, and I remember one of the things I saw you say. You said never you compromise on mutual respect. Can you throw more light on that?
Sure. So the thing is that since we are a family-owned business, and we started this business because of love for our dog, love for others' dogs, and we treat others' dogs as our own. And if we do not give anything to our dog, we would never sell that product. So that is where respect comes in: respect for dollars, respect for choice, respect for ourselves. And since we started this business from our own savings, so every dollar spent is also respected, and every dollar earned is also respected, because we are all working hard over here and we understand spending dollars is so easy, but earning is so challenging.
Mhm.
So, respect for dollars that we spend, respect for dollars that the customers spend on us, respect in terms of dealings, respect in terms of what we are giving to the market as a brand, as an offering. So, respect does not really mean something that is inside of us. I think it is something that we give and something that we expect as well. So it's 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 a multiple concept kind of thing which has been tied into the umbrella of respect.
Awesome. Okay,
Thank
I get
you.
it. Thinking, we talked about being in retail locations. Are people able to buy from your website directly? I wasn't
Yes,
able to figure that.
can. Yes, they can
Oh,
too. Yes.
what made you choose the idea of okay being in retail locations, but also being able to sell directly from your website? Like, what was the idea behind using the combined strategy?
Sure. So, digital versus brick and mortar, our customers are everywhere. There are customers who step into pet stores and want to have a look at the product. They want to touch and feel, sometimes feel the weight of the product, how heavy it is, whether it's going to be stable on the ground or not. So, those kind of aspects we love to offer them in a store front. So there are those customers who want to get a more involvement experience, and then there are customers who love to shop online digitally. For them we have our e-commerce channels. Then a lot of these pet retail stores, brick and mortar stores, also have their own websites, so that customers sometimes they walk into a store, they see the product, they go home, think about it, and probably place an order online on the retail partners store. Or they can directly come to us because they have seen us on social media or any other platform. Or if they wish to buy something towards the holidays but they have been seeing us for a long time. So we want to offer up all different types of channels, so that wherever our customers are, we want to be there too.
Mm. Amazing. That's great. Let's before we continue, I'll say if you're watching us live right now, first of all, please comment so that we'll know that you're here. But also you can drop a question if you have a question for her that maybe you are trying thinking of starting your own business and you just want to ask her something that she can answer. If you drop the question, we'll see it and I'll be able to answer the question. Okay. So let me look at, there were other things I had for you. Just one or two other questions before we take the questions that are coming up, if any. Um, a moment. So, what's your vision for this product?
Vision. We want to
Yeah.
become a household name. So whenever somebody gets a dog, it's such a happy experience. And when they become pet parents, usually they think about certain toys, certain items that gets associated with their pet. So we want to be one of those brands that people always recall whenever they get a dog, not only whenever they are getting a new dog, but also for their existing fur members, for their kids. We want to be that top of mind when it comes to snuffle mats or enrichment, because of the quality that they can trust, because of the durability that they can trust, and because they know that there is a brand out there who cares for them and their pets, a brand which is similar to family. So that's what our vision is. And if we had to lay down it in a statement, we want every dog to at least snuffle once in a paws and dog snuffle mat so that they are able to enjoy the difference. So that's what our vision is. And we want to be part of everybody's family.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question uh, came in. The person's asking on product license. Please help throw more light on how it was accepted in the market, manufacturing license in Canada for production.
Okay, so I would have limited experience about production in Canada, because though our snuffle mats are designed in Canada at Paws and Dogs, they are manufactured overseas. Because I'm afraid we do not have the ability to manufacture this in Canada as per the designs that we have, and it can be pretty expensive to manufacture the same in Canada. It can be 4 to 5 times the retail cost that they are actually selling now. But in terms of licenses, in terms of, it totally depends on the kind of product that you are getting into. There are different bodies in Canada which provide licenses. For example, for food supplements, there is CFIA. Then if you are making food, then there might be different licenses, but if you are making toys, there might be different licenses. So you would need to do your research and probably get in touch with the bodies so that they can also extend help to understand what all legalities would be required for manufacturing a certain kind of a product, because every product is different, and hence the terms and conditions of manufacturing every products are also going to be different.
You see, thank you very much for that answer. Okay, somebody asked a question here, but I'm taking it and rephrasing it also based on what I found on your website. So I saw that there was a place you had something like ambassadors.
Yes.
Yeah, like product ambassadors or something. So what I'm looking at is for somebody like listening to this now and maybe want to work with your brand, maybe an influencer, maybe I don't know, you know,
Mhm.
different kinds of people are watching and will also watch the replay. So are
Sure.
there direct ways people can, work with you? Is there a place on your website they can access more information about this, or what do you have to say about that?
Yes, so we are a pretty approachable company. You can message us on social media. You can give us a call. We have contact forms on our contact us page. If you want to become a brand ambassador, you can apply it through our brand ambassador page, or you can simply just send us an email with what exactly you are thinking about, and we would be able to help you or direct you in the right direction.
Okay.
Right?
So that's very good. Let me see if we have another question here. Someone has said this is so insightful. Of
Thank
course, you've been giving us a lot of information. That's very good.
Thank
Okay.
you. This is all
Yeah.
our whatever we have learned in the past 5 years. I would say it has not been a rosy bed. There have been tears, there have been smiles, there has been laughter, there has been a lot of hard work, perseverance, and resilience, I would say, because doing business is not easy. And since this is our first venture, we did have a good share of learnings, I would say, which has kept us humble, and it makes us grounded to stay close to all our values.
That's great.
Thank you.
My last question before we ask you for advice is, what is the question you wished that I asked you today, but I haven't asked?
Oh my God. Okay. Would you tell people to start a business at any point of time? Is there a time to start a business?
Okay, tell us more about that.
There is no time to start a business. There is no right time. The thing is that I could be thinking, oh my God, I wish I started a business 5 years ago. And then I come across an inspirational story by someone who literally started a business in their 60s and are rocking it. So that makes me realize I think it's futile evaluating whether I should have started or whether I should have some life experience or business experience so that I can start later. The answer is just start now. If you are thinking of a business, just get into it. Put down a plan, write down everything, put down what exactly you are thinking about as a business, put a plan around it. What exactly do you try are you trying to achieve? The why of a business, the why, the how, the where, the when, the who. So identifying the target customer. Why are you even getting into this business? What do you want to achieve personally as well as professionally? Where do you want to start this business? When do you want to start this business? How are you going to start this business? So if you are going to answer your 5 W's and 2 H's, I think you will get an answer to all your questions over there. And if you want to start a business, I would say make friends with perseverance, resilience, because that is something that you are going to need in ample amounts. I would say infinite amounts. They are going to be your best friends. Resilience and perseverance. You have to get up, dust yourself, and be there and show up. That's going to define who you are.
Mm, that's amazing.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing. Okay, so what advice do you have for a woman right now who is looking to start a business? This is, you have given the general one, but
Yeah.
then I noticed that as women as women, yeah, sometimes we may have peculiar issues or the way we think about things or challenges that we may feel are unique to us. So for a woman out there who is looking to start a business, right, like maybe create a product and turn it into a global brand, just like you and your team have done. What
Mhm.
advice do you want them to take away from today's session?
I would still stay the same. Start now. Don't think too much. Don't think about the challenges which you are obviously going to face. Don't think about it. If you think you can do it, trust yourself and get into it today. Because as time passes, the competition is increasing. New brands are entering the market. So if you have a unique idea, or if you think you can go out and rock it, start now. Don't delay. And I think this is the advice for all women. And one thing is, we are in an age where women are all there for each other. So reach out to us, how we can help, how we can mentor, how we can share our knowledge. I think it's very important that we mentor our future generations. We share the knowledge, we hand down the knowledge, and how we did it, we share it with our upcoming generations so that they can also think about, okay, I have a mentor, I have somebody to guide me, I need not be scared. So I think that is precious. We all need to get together and we have to help one another, even if it means introducing your business to somebody, referring, or even just being kind to one another. I think that is very important.
Mm, yeah. Okay, you've done something that I think is very also like very not easy to achieve. So you may your life your business partner is also your life partner.
Yes. Yes.
How do you manage that? Because not a lot of people can work with their spouse or their spouses. So um are there it's like, let's say I'm thinking of working with my spouse. What should I look out for? How do I manage work, home? Like how you doing it?
Oh my God. I think I would say I'm lucky. My spouse and I are on the same frequency, and we both have the same vision, the same values. I think that's where resonance plays a very important role. And when we started this business, we started the business from nothing. We started from our savings. When we came into Canada, we were just 1.5 years old when we started Paws and Dogs. We did not have a friend circle. We did not have relevant industry connections. We did not know anybody in the pet industry. We did not have anybody who we could look out to for advice, even to start a business in a foreign country. And no friends, no connections, no network, nothing. I think the best friend at that point of time who was supporting me to start my business was Google. Because I used to research a lot, read a lot. Like,
Mm.
okay, how to start a business in Canada. Okay. Then I understood, after a few months, I understood um, Halton Hills, the place that we belong to, has a small business center, and there are small business mentors slash advisors who actually help people like us, get answers to those questions. When you are asking questions at an early age, how do I register my business, how do I be legal, how do I form this document, how do I form that document, how do I put down a website, how do I do this, how do I do... there were 1001 questions, at that point of time, because it was starting to get overwhelming when we were starting. And I think the small business center, which also exists in every region, I would say, in Canada, reach out to them. They are a valuable resource. They would be able to, I would say, answer a lot of your basic questions that will stem up early on in the game. And of course, researching, reading. And then there are a lot of bodies, even government bodies, who provide grants, who provide funding, who provide loans, like BDC. In case you are looking for exporting, there's EDC. In case you are looking for guidance, you could even call, how to do your taxes and everything. You can chat with CRA. And you can, suppose if you want to go for a social media grant, you want to grow your marketing efforts, there is a CDAP grant, which is CDAP, Canada Digital Adoption Program. So there are a lot of help available. Canada Startup is an organization that helps early age entrepreneurs. Or you could even reach out to mentors like Dr. Linda and ourselves, who can point you in the right direction, because we have, I would say, hustled and found out some resources that have been helpful. I would not say we would have all the answers, but at least we will be able to guide you and turn you in the right direction where you could get some of the answers. So that's your cue. Start today. And if you are thinking to start a business, don't think too much, just start it.
Thank you so much. You've shed light on, my questions from people online, and also we've come to understand your brand more. Believe you me, I don't have a dog myself, but tomorrow if I hear somebody talking about snuffle mats, right, I'm going to be like, yes, I know about that. I know a brand that does that business, and they're very good, they're very unique. So that's the whole essence of even what we are doing as well. Looking at women in business, um, providing them extra visibility, because you're already very visible. You're in 1,200 retail stores, but it's more like, hey, shining more light on this, and also making it easier for people who are looking for, it's like, who can I learn from? Who is somebody that have done something I want to do? Because there's this whole thing about you want to do something, somebody has done it before. It sort of gives you, will I say, permission to go do your own, right? Humans tend to get energy from others, even when they don't know you personally. Just knowing that somebody else came in, they did it. Like, for example, you talked about starting this business, you and your spouse starting this business when you were just a year and 6 months old in Canada, right? Like, I'm sure there are lots of immigrants as we're watching this who will feel like, wow, you mean they did it? Ah, we've been here for 2 years. We haven't done this. We've been here for 3 years. We haven't done this. We've been here for 10 years. What? And we're still feeling like we are new. Like, so just hearing your story, somebody else will be encouraged to step out there and also make it happen for themselves. So thank you very
Sure.
much for coming on the show. And we hope
For-
to hear more of you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Take care and bye bye for everybody that is watching.
Bye.